advert at the moment for any TVs? But you don't have advert?
Not that I'm
Not that
aware
I've
of.
seen.
I used to have them in the class, and I'm sure I saw them in the advert the other day.
Yeah.
Not seen it.
So, as this is the last lecture, let's just go over what I want you to take away from the course. Now, does anyone remember, after I introduced myself, what my second slide was?
What is technology?
Okay, yes, so what is technology? So around those slides, so rewind the tape. Does anyone remember?
Different features.
Oh yes, that was later on in the...
That's the third slide.
Big red writing. You are thinking coaches. Okay?
Oh.
So long after you've forgotten the concept.
Not memory coaches.
No, not memory coaches. You are thinking coaches. So even though you may forget everything that you've learned in this course, hopefully,
Remember that.
hopefully you will take away with you some skills. Number one is how you can effectively role model thinking and making it explicit. So that very much relates back to what I said was that you are thinking coaches. In technology, we teach students how to think in a technological way. In maths, they teach them in a mathematical way, science, history, geography, and so on. There are different ways of knowing and doing, and in this subject, we are teaching you how to think and do in a technological way. Organisers. Okay? So hopefully you've learned a little bit of how to create an organiser and how they can effectively scaffold thinking. And so that you can now go out and generate worksheets that you can use in your classroom. Because you may never teach technology again, but these two things, you will need to scaffold thinking at some stage, and you will need to role model thinking. So hopefully that's a skill that you've taken away with you. And also, that you can use the technology process. So hopefully we've helped you develop your technology goals. So when you are out and about and you see a piece of technology, you can actually break it down and you look at pieces of technology like a technologist. Some of the attitudes that I want you to take away is that, well, all students can succeed. But success means different things to different students. So, and what success really is for any student of any age is actually moving along their continuum. So the whole purpose of our teaching and our teaching philosophy is help to move you along. So even though so some of you have started off as an A student, but hopefully what we've done is we've actually helped you still improve as a student. So everyone moves along their continuum. Some have moved a lot, some have moved not so much, but what matters is that you've moved at all. So hopefully we've moved you along the continuum. That you actually be there for your students, and that's actually probably pretty critical in the middle years, that you actually provide a nurturing environment and that you get across to your students that you actually want them to succeed. It shouldn't be ever an adversarial relationship between you and your students. Everyone is there for the same purpose. And also that extends to parents as well. So if you can get across to parents that you are there to help their child succeed, you'll actually get better presents at the end of the year. And the other attitude is that criteria sheets should be there to aid student performance. Yes, they are there to assess learning so that we can give numbers to admin to write reports, but at the end of the day, the criteria sheet should help students succeed. So that's another attitude that I want you to have. Rightio. And when you get out there, so this is just more general, so this is moving more away from technology now. When you get out there, be a team player. You are going to be working teaching teams. Sometimes it's going to be you and another teacher working together with a group of students. Sometimes you will be put into a learning area group. So for example, you may become a maths teacher or a science teacher or an English teacher. Learn to become a team player. You'll also see excellent examples of bad teaching when you get out there. It's going to be tough. It's tough for everybody, but don't be disheartened. Just keep at it, and you will get better. Get mentors. approach the old crusty teachers in the school and actually make friends with them. So offer to come in and actually view their classes because it makes them feel better and you'll actually learn, you may learn good things, but you also may see bad things, and because you've been scaffolded through thinking in this course, you think, so what? So if I see them doing that, then you are able to more effectively reflect on your teacher.
But don't mention it to them.
Oh yeah, don't mention it to them. You just say, thank you very much.
Feel great.
Okay. Thank you very much, but you just think to yourself, I am never going to do that in my class.
It's amazing how few teachers get that opportunity though, because in our first practice we did 2 weeks observation, we were allowed to go all over the school, and it was timetable, it was all coordinated, which was great. But the number of teachers that said to me, I've never stepped outside of my music classroom to watch anybody else teach in this school. But there's just not a chance to do that, or they haven't, made an opportunity to do that. But they said, oh, it'd just be so great to be able to do that. So for us, it was, I thought it was very valuable to across the curriculum.
It's absolutely valuable that you get out there and you actually observe experienced teachers and not so experienced teachers as well. Okay? Because then you'll be able to make connections in your mind. Work on behaviour management. This is something that everybody struggles with. And it's kind of related to the first bit about don't be disheartened. Because the biggest danger time for young teachers is in that first 5-year period where you lose like half of teachers in that first 5 years. And it basically comes down to undeveloped behaviour management skills and unsupportive environments. So if you're able to make a commitment to developing your behaviour management, watching experienced teachers is a good way of doing that, but also in terms of making connections, getting those mentors. It's really helpful if you actually approach your heads of faculty or whatever they call them in your school and say, look, it would really help my development as a young teacher if I get time to actually go out and observe other teachers teaching. Okay? Number one, that shows initiative to the head of faculty, and number two, it puts you in a more positive light.
And it seems ludicrous that teachers aren't creating that for each other when we're expected to create that for our students. A safe and supportive environment to learning. Why aren't we doing it for teachers?
Yeah, some schools are excellent and they will buddy you up with somebody. Okay? But don't just stick that to that one person. Like, have them as your main contact, but make sure you get out and establish contacts of your own. Some schools are really good in establishing that. Some schools are not so good in this. So just remember that for when you get out there. That if they don't provide it, it's up to you to go out and make those contacts with the teachers. Make a commitment to lifelong learning in that don't develop the attitude that, all that rubbish I learned in uni, that's useless. Make a commitment that you will actually improve yourself as a teacher. Now, the Queensland College of Teachers has actually made it easier because there's a requirement for registration that you actually demonstrate ongoing learning. So there's kind of a bit of a stick to a lot of those old fuddy-duddies who think, oh, I went to uni back in 1970 and I don't, there's nothing new under the sun. But I want you to go out there with a better attitude than that, is that you'll actively go out and seek. So you don't really need that stick because you have that commitment to lifelong learning. And that's what you want to get across to your students as well. And well, that's related to the next thing, is be a learning model for your students. Because by demonstrating, so if you then decide to go do your masters or anytime you go to a conference, always come back and share with your students what you're doing to show to them that you are actually learning as well. That we're all lifelong learners and we're just at different points. Thank you very much. This is the last time I'll see you. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Any questions?
This is
Unrelated to technology, or related to technology?
There was a teacher on